If you think about it, barbers are the most connected people pretty much in the world. Imagine how many people barbers see in the chair in just one day, then a week, and then a year. And they're repeating clients, and all the time you get new clients coming in. You're meeting so many people, which gives you so many different business opportunities.
Dr. Faded, Aaron.
How are you, man?
Good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, great.
Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Thanks for having me down here. It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure.
For sure, man. I called you in because I could, through Instagram and seeing your work with Mucky, who I had in for the last podcast, you've been putting in the work.
Oh, man, 100%.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
So you're obviously a apprentice barber.
Yeah.
So how did all that sort of begin?
So a bit of a backstory for me. I always came from a family with business mindsets.
Yep.
So my old man is a builder. My father and my mother worked together. They built an amazing company, and I dropped out of school at the end of year 9. The goal was for me to build up my talent and my skill and take over their business that they've built up.
In construction?
Yeah, in construction. And that was the goal. So I dropped out, got into some trades, did some carpentry, did a bit of plumbing, did a bit of everything.
Yep.
But I just... Man, I couldn't find the...
Yeah, nothing clicked.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, okay, this is for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just couldn't find it. And I tried a few different things. Like I did traffic control also for about a year, just to kind of waste some time, just so I have somewhat of an income until I figure out what I actually want to do. And it was actually on a holiday. I was with my younger cousin, and he needed a haircut so bad, man. And... He wasn't going, so I picked up some clippers.
Yeah.
I completely butchered his hair.
Yeah.
And I thought, why not give that a crack?
Yep.
And the journey that led up to that, I always thought to myself, okay, I have to have, it has to be able to have my own business in the future. Has to be obviously something I enjoy, and obviously if it can make some decent coin, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So I just kept picking up the clippers for the first month. I wasn't taking it too serious.
Just friends and stuff?
Just my friends butchering their hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
You've got to start somewhere.
Of course, man. That's
and
the
your
only
hair grows
way.
back as well.
Yeah, that's it. And so I started for about a month just mucking around with my mates, just trying to get some haircuts in, learn self-taught. And then I decided, I really enjoy this, and why don't I take it seriously? I asked myself that question. I couldn't answer it. So I took it seriously. I signed myself up as an apprentice.
Yep.
And I started going to TAFE, and I started watching YouTube videos on different techniques, etc.
There's so much you can learn off YouTube these days. It's crazy.
Man, it's nuts.
Yeah.
You can learn anything from YouTube.
Literally, yeah.
And then I started my apprenticeship, and this was 3 months ago.
Yep.
And 3 months have gone by, and now I'm here.
Yeah. And you're in a shop now?
I'm in a shop now, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So we just doing it at home before?
Yeah, so I started off at home, running my own home business. So I ran ads on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp groups. And now I work at a shop, and I also do have after-hour clients at home.
Yeah. And you're getting quite a bit of client base through the shop now?
Yeah.
So you're busy?
Oh, flat out, man.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah.
In 3 months to achieve all that.
It's crazy.
And that was like the reason why I wanted to get you in as well.
Yeah.
Like just hit while the iron's hot.
Yeah, that's it.
So do you reckon the sort of hustle mentality came from living in a business-minded house with your parents, or?
Yes and no. I've always loved being on camera. I've loved it. I've loved the whole editing part. I've loved the being on camera part. And I wanted to somehow introduce the camera in my barbering. And I had to figure out a kind of way that worked well, that the content would last and it's not boring for the audience.
Yep.
Something that would work, that would really hook the audience in, saying, hey, look at this dude. He's doing this in such a turn of a way. I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to watch him. And it did take a bit of time to kind of figure out my talent in a way of how I like recording, my style of recording.
It takes a little bit. You got to make like 10 or 15 videos before you sort of really get the hang of it, and like being comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, for sure. It's a huge thing. It's not as easy as people think it is. And so much time, effort, and energy goes behind a camera, and people don't know that. They don't know that.
I always say it's behind the scenes that's the most important, that you don't see. That's where the real work is being done.
For sure, man.
Even the same for me. So I finish a full day work, I go home, I've got kids, I put them to sleep, and then I'm drawing for the next day. I might be drawing till 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Getting up and then starting work again.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's why I think barbering and tattooing is actually pretty similar in a way.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, they're both arts. Giving a haircut for me, I count it as an art, you know. I'm doing something that someone is going to walk around with on their head for, 7 days, if not more.
Yeah.
And same with tattooing, you're doing something on their skin that they're going to walk around with potentially for the rest of their life.
You got temporary billboards
100%.
for a week, yeah.
That's
and
it.
I see like the fade, I see it like shading.
Yeah.
Like in a tattoo, it's the same motion.
Yeah.
It's like a plane taking off.
Yeah,
I imagine that's what it'll be like.
Yeah.
So when I like clip my face, I try to like flick it up. I can't do it, but I see it the same as well, and I agree. And barbershops sort of have like stations too, yeah?
Yeah. Exactly the same as tattooing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you like rent the space or?
I don't at the moment.
Is that just because you're an apprentice? Like,
Yeah. They do offer, like shops offer that, where you can kind of rent your own chair. You pay X amount a week, and then every client that comes in for you is in your pocket.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But the whole journey, also comparing barbering and tattooing, the start journey is so hard, and I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah.
You have to understand rejection really well.
Yeah, that's a hard one too.
It's so hard, man. It's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
Like, people will come into the shop, and you have to have the courage to say, hey, I'm putting my hand up. I'm an apprentice, but I'm more than happy to cut your hair. And I understand when people hear the word apprentice, they're like, oh, fuck. Like, nah, I'm going to wait for someone qualified. Man, it hurts.
Yeah.
But it's just part of the journey.
Yeah.
What doesn't kill you make you stronger.
That's right.
That's it.
And you're building up your humility because you'll need it later in life.
Of course, man.
You
for
know?
sure.
And the fact that you are 18 and already putting in this work, to me, I was like, I've got to get this kid on.
Thanks.
Just years ahead of where I was at that age.
Yeah.
And I've seen all the videos, so we'll get to that in a minute. But what are you doing on the social media? Like, barbering on social media is massive now.
Yeah, it's
like,
huge.
It pops up on my Instagram,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at mainly tattoo stuff. How would you say the importance of social media helps with barbering?
If I'm being completely honest, I think I can speak for most businesses, including mine, without a strong social media platform, you're only going to, imagine a staircase. You can only get to a certain step without a social media presence. With a social media presence, anything is achievable. Like with barbering, I know so many barbers that think, oh, okay, this is my goal. I'm going to learn how to cut hair, then I'm going to start cutting hair, then I'm going to open my own shop, and then I've made it.
Yeah.
But whereas me, man, it goes so much further than that. I want to have so many shops, and if you think about it, barbers are the most connected people pretty much in the world. Imagine how many people barbers see in the chair in just one day.
In one day, yeah.
Then a week, and then a year, and they're repeating clients, and all the time you get new clients coming in. You're meeting so many people, which gives you so many different business opportunities. And people just don't realize that barbering doesn't have there's no limit, there's no roof.
Yeah.
You can do anything with it.
And what's cool about barbering is you really have like a relationship with your barber. You go and you talk I go every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And you talk and you know the person, you've been seeing them for years or whatever it may be.
It. Yeah.
And it's like, it's sort of like tattooing. People come and they get tattooed and they tell me about their life, the struggles or the good things that have happened.
That's it.
And you build real connection with people.
Yeah. And starting from nothing, it's enjoyable, but it's not. It's so hard, and there's so much time and effort. Like, you know, I used to have my circle of mates, my circle that I'd always go out with, you know, on a
Yep.
Friday or Saturday night, no matter what. And slowly starting to drift away from that circle, it's just taught me so much. Like, it's taught me sometimes people aren't who they say they are.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean people pretend like they support you, but there'll be an extent, if you know what I mean. They
Yeah.
won't go that extra step to show you, hey, bro, I'm your man. I'm here to support you. Come practice on me.
Yeah, that's something that I've found out quickly as well. The strangers will support you more than what your friends do.
100%.
And that's where the social media thing comes in.
Yeah.
There's people, when I went to a convention in February, and people will come up, like, I've been watching your journey for like 6 years. I've never tattooed them before.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's just cool to watch you
It's
grow
awesome.
and like where you become and stuff like that. And it's really like shocks you, you know?
It's like,
none
wow.
of your friends have said that
Yeah.
to you, but now some stranger I've met for the first time is telling me that they're like what I'm doing and like they're happy.
Yeah, that's it, man. Oh, it's very difficult to understand at first because you'll look at that person and you'll think, man, I called them like my friend for X amount of time, whether it's a week, a year, a month, or a couple of years, whatever it is. And then when you need them the most, they're not there.
Yeah.
But the strangers are there.
Yeah.
You know, I've had so many people actually come into the shop and when I say my thing, because every time someone comes in, I have to say, hey, I'm an apprentice, you know, I'll cut your hair, I'll do it a little bit cheaper, you know, make it kind of worthwhile, sound all right.
Yep.
And I've had so many people say, you know, fucking oath, I'll give you a go.
Yep.
And the feeling, like, it feels so good, man, to get that trust in a complete stranger.
And then they're going to go and tell their mate.
That's it.
You know, I come in, this apprentice, he was real cool, he cut my hair, did a good job.
That's it, man.
Like, he just started, so he's only going to get better.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah, there's no mistakes, you know? Like, if you fuck up, there's only getting better. You don't get worse. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Because you'll remember, okay, I did this last time, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
I need to change it and do this better. And you don't get worse.
Do you do a lot of, do you watch, like, the senior barbers a lot?
Yeah, heap, yeah.
Yep.
A lot of our quieter days, you know, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Yep.
I watch my boss. Just, he always has different ideas, techniques, and different type of way of cutting. And it seems so simple, I must say. Like, before I got into barbering, when I was back in traffic, just wasting time trying to figure out what I want to do, man, I'm a weekly client to my barber. And I would think, man, it's so easy.
Yeah.
It ain't easy.
Yeah.
It's so hard, and there's so much pressure, especially at the start.
Yeah.
Because one little inch of a movement too far, man, you've butchered someone.
Yeah.
And it's hard, really hard, close to impossible to fix.
And that's what people remember as well.
That's it.
Yeah. The start is hard. It's the same, like, for us too, but my mistakes are a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's permanent.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. It's amazing what you learn just by watching someone and what you take in subconsciously. Because it happens to me today as well.
Yeah.
I would go into the shop for 5 hours, watch someone get tattooed, bored as.
Yeah.
It's so boring watching someone get tattooed.
The worst.
And then, like, 5 years down the track, I'm doing something. I'm like, oh, I remember
This
situation happened and this is what happened, and I'm going to, like, shade it like this or, you know, do the line like this or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And you don't know you're taking it in, but you really are.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all of that goes a long way.
Yeah. Like, I'm all about giving people opportunities. You know, everyone deserves an opportunity no matter what their past says, because people do change over time, and giving people goes is a good thing. Like, I've got a whole sleeve of tattoos.
Yep.
And it's all done by an apprentice.
Yep.
And I didn't go with them because it was cheaper. I went with them so I could help them. You know, like, you might think, oh, I'm getting a tattoo, I'm going to pay the top dollar to get to the top place, to get the top tattoo because it's on me forever. Yeah, I understand. But people can't learn if you don't give them opportunities.
That's right. And I appreciate every person that got tattooed by me when I was an apprentice, and I'm sure you feel the same way now.
100%.
Every haircut's like a blessing, you know?
That's it.
And you're grateful for it.
Yeah.
And I can see that in you as well. So what are you doing that's different? What's You know, you've been popping up a lot.
Yeah.
Seen a few people.
So about a month and a half into barbering, when I pretty much still was really, really learning, still making big mistakes, I decided, you know, let's pull my head down. Let's be different. I know I'm not qualified, as most people start businesses when they're qualified, but I'm young and I know I have that go-get type of energy in me.
Yep.
And when I want something and I put my head down to it, I know I can make it happen. So I started my own business. I opened up an Instagram page. That was the first thing I did. Now, figuring out a name was pretty difficult. I go by Dr. Faded. And people always ask me, like, why you call yourself that? Yada, yada, yada. Well, obviously a haircut is faded, right? And in a surgery, the doctor is like the boss, the top dog, you know. It's not a nurse. It's the doctor makes the calls. So I wanted something really unique, something that people wouldn't forget, something that you've never heard before. I know I've never heard that name. And I came up with Dr. Faded. So I made my Instagram page, and still to this day, I have my first ever haircut that I've ever done on that Instagram page. And people ask me, man, you did his hair so bad. Like, why don't you just delete it? And I thought to myself, you know, I can be like everyone else and just make themselves look perfect on social media, but that's not me. That's not me. I built the business from nothing, from knowing nothing, and I want to be able to show myself and my followers, you know, my journey. Look at this haircut. Yeah, look at this haircut compared to now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I did that, and then I thought, ain't no better way to advertise myself than maybe get some merch. You know, I got these jumpers. I ordered 10 of them at first, and I just told some people, you know, and, man, they sold out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, mad.
Like this. I'm like, whoa. What the fuck? Why all these people? And, like, some of the people that got it, like, I don't know them well at all. Yeah. But, like, I designed my own logo. I've done everything myself. And people actually showed interest. So I went ahead, I ordered another 10. And they're all gone. I haven't ordered more since because I've been really busy putting my head down, but definitely gonna have to order some more. Yeah. And I've kind of stepped into collaborations. Now, my grandma, for example, she's very old school and she doesn't understand why I do what I do, and it's so hard to explain. But when you look at it from an outside perspective with no business knowledge, what I do from an outside perspective looks pretty stupid, you know. I'll organise my videographer, Maki, great guy, top bloke. I'll organise him to come out. I'll organise a collab.
Shout out to Maki.
Yeah, shout out to Maki. I'll organise a collab with either a famous person or a famous business, and all I ask is for 45 to 60 minutes of their time, and just pretty much I'd promote their business at the start of a video just to make it kind of worth their while a little bit.
Yep, they get something as well.
Yeah, and then I'll do the haircut video, get a photo, and make a video out of it. And through that process, man, I'm coughing up the costs of my videographer. Yeah. I'm not going to disclose how much it is, but I have to cough the costs up, not the people I'm collabing with. And I've been doing that for every single one of my collaboration videos, but now I've changed it up a little bit. I'm going half with whoever I'm collaborating with. Yep. Just to kind of take the pressure off a little bit because it's expensive, man. Yeah.
And you're an apprentice.
Yeah, I'm an apprentice wage, bro. $13 an hour. Yeah. You know? But I have been doing these collaborations because I truly see an opportunity. You know, it's kind of, these collaborations mean a lot to me. You know, I meet these awesome top blokes. You know, I've done a collab with Troy Candy. I've done a heap of collabs as it is, and I've got a heap more to come. And you meet top blokes, and it's the feeling like knowing, wow, I'm an apprentice for less than 3 months. I just cut a famous person's hair. This is like, who does this?
Surreal.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that I do have to cough up the costs of the videographer, I think it pushes me more to learn quicker and to make more accomplishments in what I'm
you're
doing.
putting pressure on yourself.
Yeah, big
essentially.
pressure, man, big. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without the support, you know, from all my loved ones, my family, and my girlfriend. And they've been there, you know, since the start. They've been there through the sad days that I've had where I've come home and only done one haircut.
Yep.
And it's so hard because it makes you feel like shit. Pretty much, that's it.
It demoralizes you.
Yeah.
There was days where I was not tattooing for a couple of days back to back, you know, and you go home and for me, it's if I don't tattoo, I don't get paid. So it's literally you going to work, sitting at work all day and nothing's happening, and you're going home and it's like, why am I doing this, you know?
That's how it was for me until literally last week. I'm on hourly rate. It's not much now, but before I was put on hourly rate, I was literally on commission. So if I don't cut, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
And that's how it was.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing as well because it makes you, you know, put the work in.
100%.
If you really want it, you'll put the work in and you'll make it happen.
Yeah, for sure, because that taught me, you know, my boss doesn't need me. He doesn't need me, and he actually wasn't going to hire me because the day I bought all my tools that I had at the time, that was probably, I think, the second shop that I went to apply for an apprenticeship. And he told me straight up, no, I'm sorry, we don't do apprentice. And, man, I think I applied to every shop around this area. I'm not even joking. I applied to at least 50-plus shops. And most of them got back to me and some of them didn't. And all the ones that got back to me said, sorry, man, we don't do apprentices. Now, barbering apprenticeship, let's get into that a little bit. It's not like your average apprenticeship, you know, like your carpentry. It's a set 4-year apprenticeship. You got to do 4 years to qualify.
You do your schooling, certain days.
Yeah. Barbering ain't like that. If you want it, you can finish quick. You know, you can finish in 6 months, or it can take you 2 years.
Yeah.
I know someone that's been in the apprenticeship for a year and a half, and that's just not something I picture for myself.
Yep.
I want to be in and out, get my certificate, and finish it at that. And it shows your dedication in a way, because when you're not on that hourly rate, if you're not, no one's making you come to the shop, no one's making you come and ask these people to cut hair, because you're there on your own free will. You're not getting paid.
That's right.
You're there because you want it. And if you want something, and if you really put in, you know, 110%, God will take care of you. It will happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's exactly the same as a tattoo apprenticeship.
Yeah.
You know, it's your job to get people in the door.
Yeah.
You can't do walk-ins for ages.
Yeah.
You have to have like 30, 40, 50 tattoos under your belt before you can maybe take in a walk-in.
For sure.
And that's all you getting those people.
Yeah.
So that's where the social media comes in for you, I'm saying. Like all the work you put into that, that's how you would have built your client base. And
100%.
especially if you're saying you're getting more support from the strangers as well.
Yeah.
It's all through that.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't mean this in a bad way, but if you have, for example, my business of barbering, if you have a strong social media platform with not so top quality haircuts, you will succeed more than having top quality haircuts and not a strong social media platform.
That's right. Because people look at the follower number and all that, like it must be good.
That's it. That's all it is.
And the way that Instagram is now, I don't know how you found it, but it's hard to grow at the moment. I've been stuck at where I am for like a year.
Yeah, it is.
And I've been putting in work. I've been trying, like doing reels and all the things that they want from us. And still, it's hard to grow.
Yeah,
and every time you grow, you lose a bit. And it's like, sort of gets to the point you're like, well, what's the point of doing the social media?
I know. It does get very tricky. And I've kind of figured out a little bit of a way where if I can see for a week I haven't gained one follower, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, what can I do differently to change it up? And I've just recorded a collab video with High Roll Limousines yesterday.
Yeah.
And that video is going to come out in a couple of days. And that video is very different to anything that I've ever recorded. It has a kind of a gangster twist to it, you know?
Yeah.
And I like to kind of make every video different, because if you keep doing the same stuff, man, number one, people will get bored. Number two, you're not going to be able to grow. And the only way to grow is, in my opinion, to keep changing it up. You know, you'll figure out yourself what works and you'll figure out what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think that's just really important.
Yeah. I checked out that limo place, and that was like an Impala or something, or
Yeah.
like I want that so bad. I couldn't stop. There's a video of him like walking around it and like showing it. It's got the hydraulics and that.
Yeah.
Like, that's so mad. I'd love to do something with them. So with the collabs, how are you finding people are reacting to when you reach out to them? Like, are they pretty receptive or?
Look, it depends how famous they are, if I'm going to be honest. If they got a couple 100,000 followers, it's super difficult. Like, for
Probably
example,
not going to open up the message even.
Yeah, like, for example, Troy Candy's video, top bloke, and he has so many followers. And that really taught me, that one video was my first collab, big collab, first ever, and my biggest collab that I've done since. And that taught me a lot because I was going crazy. I told myself, man, I got to get this happening.
Yeah.
How can I do it? And I messaged him. So Troy lives in Gold Coast. I messaged Troy about a month before they were hosting the car show called Campillo.
Yep.
Because I knew he was going to be there. I messaged him about a month prior, and I said, hey, yada, yada, you know, I'm 18 years old. I'm a barber apprentice. I want an opportunity in life, and this could really help me out type of thing. Could I please take 40 to 60 minutes of your time completely for free and get a video going with you? And he replied pretty much 2-3 days later saying, hey, man, yeah, I respect the hustle, you know, let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which was awesome. But it got me thinking, how many people are messaging this guy? What can I do for him to think, fuck, you know, this kid's different. He's not the same as everyone else. You know, I'm sure he has so many people messaging him, asking him, telling him a sad story, saying, oh, you know, my wife left me. Can I have some money, please? I'm depressed.
Yeah.
You know, man, if I'm rich, I ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
But if I see someone's really different, I'm going to help him out.
Well, you're not really asking for anything but his time, really.
That's it. And so Troy actually ended up coming to Melbourne a week earlier. And Troy's best mate, Adrian Portelli, was hosting he put a tab on a Coles about an hour from my house. He put a tab of, I think it was $50,000 or $100,000.
Yep.
Where people that are less fortunate can come, and it'll pretty much pay for your groceries type of thing. You get $250 a person or a family, and it's his show. As soon as I heard that, and it was literally the night before I went, so he released the address the night before, I called my boss. I'm like, man, I can't come to work tomorrow. He goes, what? Why? I said, I've got some personal business I've got to take care of. I'm so sorry. I don't cancel on people, bro. I find it really disrespectful, but I needed this to happen. And I needed them to see my face. So I dressed up, you know, I dressed up nicely. I didn't dress up like a schlepper.
Yeah.
I dressed up. I looked nice. I had a nice Montclair jacket on. I wore my jeans, you know. I looked good. Had a fresh haircut. And I knew what time that he was going to be there. And I told myself I'll get there an hour early, but I had something I had to deal with prior, which was out of my control.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting there 10 minutes before he was meant to show his face. And when I tell you, the line of people that showed up was thousands.
Yeah.
With an S at the end.
Mm.
Like, man, this queue was big enough to wrap around the whole Chatston shopping centre.
Yeah.
I swear. And I thought to myself, fuck, look how many people are here. How am I going to get these two guys to see me out of all these people? And honestly, there was like security, private security, there was police, there was randos, you know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I parked my car and I had to walk 20 minutes because there
Just
was...
to get there?
Just to get there because there was no spots anywhere. Everyone got there. Like, I know someone that got there at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
and they were only showing their face at 10.
Yeah.
Like, that says a lot in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
So they were inside the Coles, and the Coles at the time was closed to the public. I got out the car. I have business cards. I got them a couple of days prior. I thought, you know what? I'll grab it just in case. Took it, walked to the Coles, and there was a back door that was open. Now, I saw through one of the aisles, There was Troy, Adrian, his security guard, and the Coles manager. And I thought to myself, fuck, they're right there. Everyone is outside. I'm the only one who can see them.
Yeah.
And if I don't take this opportunity, it's going to be a waste of a day off work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get this opportunity again.
Yeah.
Thought, you know what? Fuck it. And I swear I was shitting myself. I was so scared. The security was so scary.
Yeah.
But so you know those self-checkouts, how they now have those
The automatic doors or whatever it is, yeah.
And they're about waist height. And all the workers were still in there and all that, just getting ready. And I just jumped over it. I just leaped myself over and all the workers were just staring at me like, what is this guy doing? And then I'm walking. And my heart's racing, bro.
The adrenaline's pumping.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of Adrian for a really long time.
Yeah.
And just the fact that he was right there, I was like, what is going on? But I walked closer and the Coles manager said to Adrian, hey, man, you forgot to, fix up the tab of 100,000 or whatever it was. So Adrian just casually whips out his phone, man, taps his card on 100 grand like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And the second that he was doing that, Troy was standing by himself and the security was with Adrian. Troy was literally by himself. I thought, fuck, this is my chance. And Troy kind of kept, kind of looking at me like that, like saying, who's this guy? What is he doing?
Did you have your jumper on too?
Yeah, of course, man, yeah. So I said, fuck it, I'm doing it. I ain't turning back. I drove 1 hour that morning with such minimum sleep, trying to figure out in my head a bit of a script to memorize of how I want to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And I got there and I said, hey, Troy, how you going? I dapped him up and I said, do you remember me by any chance? I said, I'm the barber that messaged you about a month ago. And he said, nah, bro, sorry, man, I have so many people message me, yada, yada, yada. I said, oh, fair enough. Well, I showed him my messages and then he remembered. And I said to him, look, man, if you get any time at all, please contact me. And I pretty much forced him to take my business card because my business card has my Instagram, my TikTok, everything on it. And I pretty much said to him, if you get any time, please contact me. And, it will really help me make my dream come to reality. He said, yeah, whatever. Anyway, I get home that day. And I'm like, fuck, this guy ain't going to message me. I had a feeling, he's not going to say no to you in person. It's rude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what can I do now? I've seen him. I've spoken to him. And I've previously messaged him. What can I do to change his mind? And I ended up going to message him again. And I pretty much said, hey, Troy, it's Aaron, Dr. Faded here again. I'm just contacting you, just trying to show you how much I really want this, man. I'm 18 years old. I've only been in business for like a month and a half to 2 months. And this will literally be life-changing. It will set my make it or break it mark. And I said, if this trip down to Melbourne doesn't work for you, I will personally pay, my last couple dollars to send myself and my cameraman and we'll come to you up on the Gold Coast just for a day trip, just for 1 hour, just to cut your hair. And he didn't see that for a day, but when he saw it, I think it touched him a little bit. He saw how dedicated and how much I wanted it. Yeah. And he mentioned that to me when I was cutting him.
Yeah, cool.
And that taught me a lot about dedication. And, sometimes I think, fuck, I'm annoying this guy. But if I don't annoy him, I'm not going to get what I want.
Yeah.
And if I don't get what I want, it's not going to bother them. It will bother me.
It's being persistent.
That's it, man.
And just going for it.
Yeah. And that later on, the next day in the afternoon, I got a message from Troy. Hey, man, if I told you to come now to the Crown, how long would it take you? Man, I freaked out, bro. I straight away called Mucky, my camera guy. I'm like, Mucky, this is what's going on. I need you bad. And I've never shot with him before that. It was our first shoot. And it was late at night. I think it was like 9 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what, bro, I got you. Let's do it. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'll see you there in 50 minutes.
Yep.
So Mucky at 9 o'clock at night drove 50 minutes to a shoot to help me out, someone he doesn't know. And there I was driving to the Crown, going to the shoot, and I don't know how to explain what I was feeling. I felt so happy and excited and so nervous.
Yeah, for sure.
I was so nervous to
Yeah.
the point where I was meant to bring a ring light with me, and my ring light has a cord, and I forgot the cord.
Yeah.
But, you know, that taught me also quite a bit, because you got to work with what you get. You can't always pick and choose and get the best.
It's not going to be the perfect conditions.
That's correct. I was going into this haircut thinking, you know, I'm going to give him a skin fade, do his beard, you know, the lighting will be mint, Mucky will do his thing, make it look awesome. But it wasn't that at all. Not at all. Actually, I didn't even cut his hair. I only cut his beard because at the time he was growing his hair out, and he didn't mention that to me over the phone. So Mucky and I went in there, and he said, yeah, I'm growing my hair out. And we're like, what? In our heads. We obviously didn't say that, but
Yeah.
we learnt from that shoot that you can never plan perfectly. Now, every shoot, I try plan ahead as much as possible so we can be in and out, you know, make it quick. But that shoot was my first shoot, and it taught me so much. Like, if you don't plan, you plan to fail,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
100%.
Yeah. So we went in there. I ended up doing his beard. You know, I had a drink with him. G-up, shout out G-up. And we got along pretty well, man. I'm hoping that the future will bring us back together, and maybe there'll be a second collab coming out.
Yeah,
And
well, that was going to be my follow-up question. So with all these collabs, is it going to be further things happening, or is that a connection that you've solidified now, or?
That's definitely something I'm working on.
Yeah.
There is one guy in particular that I am doing everything to try get a collab going with, and that's Adrian Portelli.
Yeah, yeah.
He has been a true inspiration, you know, how he came from nothing and built his way up, and he's like one of the richest people
Yeah.
in Australia. It's crazy. He's
Doesn't
30
even make
years
sense,
old.
the money he's got.
It's just nuts.
Yeah.
A net worth of over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like, the man's a genius. And it would...
He's found the ultimate loophole, hasn't he?
That's it, man. He's found his thing, and you know what? Good for him. Good for him. And another thing I've learnt, that if you're not getting hated on, man, you're not doing it right.
I've heard that too.
You're not doing it right, because, bro, the amount of people that talk behind my back, I used to be that one person, you know, everyone in the area knew me. You know, everyone in the area wanted to hang out. You know, I used to be that one person, and now I'm the one person. All I do is work. I spend time with my family, my missus, and my dog. That's all I do. I don't go out, bro. I don't go out at all.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I went out.
Yeah.
And if I do go out, I feel like it's going to fuck up my rhythm. I have a rhythm going right now, you know. I wake up at the same time. I go to work. I come home, walk my dog, spend some time with the family, go see the missus, go to sleep, do it again. That's kind of my routine, and I feel like if I go out, it's going to ruin that.
Yeah.
And a big part in my routine is drugs and alcohol. Now, drugs and alcohol, I have a lot to say about that. I've never ever touched any drugs in my life.
Yeah.
And
that's a good start.
yeah, and I feel like drugs and alcohol really fuck up everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You know, that one buzz for an hour or maybe the night, it's not worth it, man.
Yeah.
It's really not. You can have a career for 20 years. You can get on drugs or alcohol or whatever and it'll be a mistake. You're not going to intentionally do something, but you could do something that will literally fuck up 20 years of what you've been trying so hard to build up. And I don't drink at all. The one time I had a drink with Troy Candy, I must be honest, I was dying to try G-Up.
Yeah.
You know, I heard so much about it. I hadn't tried it until I tried it with Troy. And it's an awesome drink, but I'm not a drinker, man. It's not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's something that society is, especially in Australia, there's always a reason to have a drink.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with a client the other day. You come home from work, it was a hard day, I deserve a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good day today, I deserve a drink.
Yeah.
It's Saturday.
Saturday night, I deserve a drink, yeah.
Yeah. There's always a reason. And the alcohol addiction, you can't even just stop drinking.
No.
You get, like, hectic withdrawals, you can actually die.
It's
You need to
crazy.
be weaned off it. You need to have, like, valleys and stuff like
Yeah,
that
it's nuts.
to replace it.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get. Anyone can just, like, obviously if you're over 18, you can just go and buy alcohol and just, like, fuck your life up easy.
100%.
And it's just so glorified, and there's commercials about it, and
So bad.
Yeah.
I think alcohol is the worst drug, and it's so addicting.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand how people enjoy it. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, their mentality is, I'm going to drink so I can just get so fucked up. And,
Yeah.
and like, if that's what you want to do, like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But you can still go out and be around people drinking and that. And we had an event here a few weeks ago and everyone was drinking.
Yeah.
We were tattooing. And I wasn't drinking, obviously, because I'm working.
Yeah.
And I was making a stencil. I'm like, what's that smell? And I'm like, this is just people's breath.
Yeah.
And like alcohol in the air. I'm like, this is like
Yuck, man.
actually quite disgusting.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not. It's
When
not nice.
you're drinking, you don't smell these things, or you
don't realise.
you're saying dumb shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just around everyone. There was like 40 people in here,
Yeah.
and I'm just listening to like conversations, and
Yeah.
it's funny but you can go out and you can treat it as a networking thing as well.
That's it.
You know?
And that's what I do.
Yeah.
And man, trust me, I've been to those parties. Every party you can think of, I've been there.
Mm.
You know, I've been around those people that have been doing dumb shit. And I think to myself, the reason I'm getting hated on so much is because I'm actually getting somewhere. I'm actually getting somewhere compared to the people that spend their Friday, Saturday, Sundays, you know, doing drugs, drinking, going out partying. I'm not doing that. My head's down, bro, and I'm hustling as hard as I possibly can to try achieve what I want to achieve at such a young age.
Well, it's also can be jealousy as well.
100%.
You know, they're not mad at you. They're almost mad at themselves.
That's it.
Because it's like he's out there, he's not coming out, he's working, he's going home, he's just focusing on himself.
Yeah.
That's a reason to drink.
Yeah.
You know?
I understand.
They're just giving themselves another reason to drink and taking the responsibility away from themselves.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. It's a sad world, man.
Yeah.
Sad world.
But that's just all part of it, you know?
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you wanted to work towards opening a shop. What's your next plan? So you obviously want to finish your apprenticeship.
Yep.
Stay where you're at and just keep building up your client base, or do you have ideas for maybe YouTube or something, or what are you thinking, man?
My thoughts at the moment prior to about a week ago was, I'm going to stay at this shop, finish my apprenticeship, open my own joint, then take it from there. Now I'm starting to rethink that. Lately, I did a collab with a pretty big company that I'm not going to name, but they gave me an offer and an opportunity. They have about 30 workers in the shop, and I've done a haircut for the guy, and he loved it. He loved the haircut, and he's been going to a barber for 11 years. 11 years. He's never cheated until me, and he really liked what I did. And he gave me an offer, an opportunity of thought where, hey, what if we have you down here a bit more often than you reckon? I'm like, what do you mean? And he said to me, well, there's 30 people here. How much do you charge for a call-out fee? And I said, my call-out fees start at $75, includes the haircut and the call-out. But it goes up depending on where I'm going, like what area you're in.
Travel distance.
Yeah. And keep in mind, this guy was an hour and 15 minutes away from me, his business. And we kind of came up with an idea. There's 30 people. If I charge X amount, I wouldn't want to do more than 10 haircuts a day. So there's already 3 days of work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I thought to myself, this could be a huge opportunity. If I open a shop, I have a heap of overheads. I have rent to pay. I have staff to pay. I have things I need to put into the business.
There's a lot of hidden costs.
With a lot of money behind it.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying it's bad at all. You can do it. Go for it. But I think I've come up with a way of doing what I do best and hiding those costs. And I came up with an idea. Why don't I buy a van? And I said to myself, what are the costs like? Okay, I want a van. If I get a van, it needs to look schmick. It needs to look like something no one's ever seen before. So it has to be a Mercedes Sprinter, and it has to be completely renovated on the inside to look unbelievable. You know, like nice stone or floorboards. You know, my barber chair.
Almost look like a little shop inside of a van.
Yeah, in a van. Yeah, and I've kind of calculated the costs and whether, you know, I buy it outright, finance it, or whatever the circumstance is. And I'll speak about finance. If I finance it, my only overheads is petrol and the cost of the van.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have stuff to worry about. I can get clients like that. I have nothing to worry about. So lately I've been thinking, you know, if I get 2 big major businesses that I can get a signed contract and an agreement of, you know, I'll come to you 3 times in a week to get through all your workers. I'll do it for a certain price, so it's, you know, good on my end, and they're happy
Helps
too, of
them out
course.
too. Yeah.
And it could work. So that's kind of what I've been leaning towards lately. Everything is still pretty much in the air. I'm trying to figure some stuff out at the moment, but whether I do that or open a shop, I'm still going to open a shop regardless. So if I do the van will be coming pretty soon, within a couple months. But I'll also eventually open a shop that I want it to run itself in a way where I don't have to be there. You know, I'll rent all the chairs out. I'll have a manager. People will charge whatever they want to charge, and it will work itself out, and it will be just another fresh layer of income coming in.
Well, you got a couple of things on your side. You got being young.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be like worried about being tied down and stuff like that. With the van, I mean, what's stopping you from doing like a franchise?
That's it. You never know, man.
You know? You see Dr. Faded vans driving around the city.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
know?
And that's what I say. Like, barbering has no limit. It doesn't have a roof. You can do anything, you know. And by doing these collabs, it does actually open up a heap of doors for me because, you know, if I get a van, I'm gonna get it wrapped in this color grey, and I'm gonna get my logo on the door. And, you know, I've got a collab coming up next month with a company that actually does this type of work. They do wraps, they do signs, they do posters, you know, they do that. So these collabs, not only do I just meet new people, but it opens new doors.
Yeah.
You know, like picture this, you're in a living room and you have 100 different doors. You're opening these doors, but you're still standing in the living room. You're just opening them to see what's on the inside, see if it's worth your time and to see if it can help you out in the future. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it, and you've got so much possibilities that you could do.
Yeah.
You can go interstate.
Yeah.
You can go overseas. Yeah. Like the thing with barbering and like tattooing as a trade, it's worldwide, you know. People need a haircut everywhere.
Of course, man. You got to look good.
Yeah.
You don't want to look bad.
So the vanity is super cool, man.
Yeah.
I definitely hope that comes to fruition for sure.
Thanks, bro.
So that's next on the journey.
Yeah, that's on the to-do list.
How's your apprenticeship going?
Yeah, it's going good, man. I'm flying through it. You know, obviously, mostly I'm self-taught. Comparing it to other apprenticeships, other people in an apprenticeship that have been doing it for the same amount of time as me, man, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself.
Well, you're clearly putting in the work. Like,
for sure.
For sure.
And that's the difference, man. That's the difference with me and other apprentices.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, you've definitely got like a fire lit under you.
Yeah.
And you can see it, and that's like the reason why I wanted you to come in today.
Thanks.
And I'm very grateful for you to come in today, and you know,
yeah, for sure,
giving you a platform to sort of talk on as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I was actually thinking about it like the other week. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I want to kind of express my journey. I don't know how to do it, and I thought of podcasts, and then you slid into my DMs, so it worked out perfect.
Yeah, well, the whole idea is like through tattooing, everyone has a story. Yeah, you know, and some of the conversations I've had, I'm like, I need to record this. This is like golden.
Yeah.
So that was half the reason why I started the podcast as well. And like I told you earlier, it's not about tattooing. It's just about people's stories, and hopefully someone can hear this and it, you know, lights a fire under their ass as well.
100%.
And they, you know, put their foot down and get to where they want to be.
Yeah.
And being so young as well, I think it's, you know, I think you're going to turn a lot of heads.
Yeah, I hope so. That's the goal.
All the collabs I've seen on the video, I've watched them all. They're like, yeah, watch out for this kid.
Yeah.
You know, he's going
Everyone
places.
says the same thing. Yeah. And that's something that is not like when I do my outros and I pretty much ask them, you know, hey, what do you think? And I give them the mic. I tell them before the camera goes on, just say simply whatever comes to your mind.
Yeah.
This is not scripted.
Yep.
And
keep it all organic.
just, yeah, keep it natural, you know? Whatever comes out, comes out. And I keep it that way.
Yep.
And I look back at my videos and everyone is saying the same thing in different words.
Yeah.
And it says a lot. It says a lot.
Yeah. Well, you're getting your respect, you know, and it's got to feel good as well.
Yeah, for sure. It does.
No, awesome, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll end it there.
Thank you very much.
I expect to see big things from you.
Of course, man.
And that's the best thing about the podcast as well. You know, we're just having a conversation. There's no script here or talking like that.
It was just natural.
People get to see who you really are as a person as well.
Yeah.
So I hope this helps you as well.
Thank you very much.
Man. Thanks for coming, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Done.